Improvised Intelligence is sponsored by the amazing people over at Chopped Chili. If you've been a long time listener to the podcast, you know that this is my favorite brand of chili here in New Mexico. Pretty much put it on every meal that I can. They've got red chili, green chili. My personal favorite is this blend of the red and the green. I think this stuff is phenomenal. They also have frozen bags of green chili that you can order directly from their website at choppedchilico.com. You can also find them in stores around the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Farmers Country Market, John Brooks, Keller's Farm Store, Lowe's Market. You can also find them in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Hobbs, Gallup, Tucumcari, and for all my friends in Texas, they are in El Paso. Again, choppedchilico.com. Go get yourself some amazing chili. Now back to the podcast. Improvised Intelligence is sponsored by the amazing people over at Chopped Chili. If you've been a long time listener to the podcast, you know that this. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Improvised Intelligence. I'm your host, Noah Vargas. It is good to be back. It's been a while since we've done one of these. Just making sure we got all our tech put together well. It's been a little bit. Thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in live, if you're watching after the fact, I am going to be doing my best to do these slightly more often. Get back on a regular Saturday schedule. This is going to be a very interesting one. Just going to come out front and say that. If you've clicked on this, we're going to watch State of the Union tonight live. So that being said, I am going to put up the. There we go. I'm going to put up the call in when it's appropriate. If you guys are interested in calling in, you are more than welcome to. A couple of things before we get started. I am still figuring out how to properly produce this podcast over 5 years in. So the way we're going to do this is I've got a separate mic aimed at my computer, and that's how we're going to listen to the audio. Hopefully it works. We'll see. If you have any suggestions on how to do this better, please DM me. I need to sit down and learn how to do this, but I just haven't had the time. And then when I do sit down, it's not that great. Anyway, some housekeeping things before the State of the Union begins here in about 5 minutes. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support on Instagram. If you found this from Instagram somehow, off my page, subscribe. It really does help a lot. The Instagram has been exploding lately, and it's pretty damn cool. I got to be honest. I'm at 10,500. It feels fucking amazing. So thank you everybody for the support on Instagram. Doing my best to take social media a little more seriously just to get my the following going, because again, I am a stand-up comedian, and I need a following on Instagram and all that. So thank you very much. It means a lot. Secondly, got a few shows coming up this weekend. 3 chances to see me if you are in Albuquerque, New Mexico. First one is on Thursday over at Vernon's. That's usually like left to people that are actually members at Vernon's. Unless you want to pay $50. So Vernon's is going to be your first opportunity. Second opportunity is going to be at Don't Tell. That is going to be on the Don't Tell website. I will put that in the live chat here so you can grab your tickets. Those always sell out. They always sell out. Every single fucking one that I've been to. My homie who runs it always tells me they sell out. So get your tickets. They are not cheap. They're $30, but they are worth it. Headliner there is going to be great. Whole show is going to be great. And then secondly, or sorry, I guess third one. The last opportunity to see me this weekend in Albuquerque is going to be at Two Cranes. Myself and AJ are throwing another show there. Our headliner is Nidhi Sakhuja. I hope I pronounced his name right. He's a very great guy. He's coming to us from the Comedy Store in LA. Very funny guy. I met him out in Austin when I was there last year. Did a show together and it was a lot of fun. Great time, great guy. Come out and see the show. Buy tickets. They are going quick. That is becoming the best comedy room in Albuquerque outside of the clubs. It was awesome. If you went to the show, last month, you know how good that fucking show went. It was amazing. Very good time. So yeah, come on out. Got a couple of minutes until the State of the Union begins. We live in this country. Like, we know how bad the State of the Union is right now, and I can't imagine I can imagine what he's going to say, but it's not going to be great. As far as expectations go, obviously the Epstein files is going to be looming overhead very much. I've heard that Erica Kirk is supposed to show up. That's not good. I mean, Turning Point is falling apart as we speak, so that can't be a great thing. And then, the economy's in the shitter. The Supreme Court just decided that the tariffs are unconstitutional or some shit. I got to be honest, I didn't look into it. That Supreme Court just decided, from what I understand, that the tariffs are not constitutional. And then he decided to turn around and put more tariffs on. So he's actively going against the Supreme Court. So I'm sure that's going to be looming overhead. Obviously, all the stuff with ICE and immigration, that's not good. The deportations aren't happening, and where they are enforcing the deportations, it's not going well. I mean, this is really not turning out to be a great State of the Union. I think if we're having issues in the live stream, please let me know. Let's see. Yeah, we've got some buffering going on. Why is that happening? I'm going to try to fix this in real time. I don't know why this is happening. I got to be honest. It's telling me that I have good connection on my end. Well, it looks good on my end. If there's any issues with the stream, please let me know. I think the State of the Union is about to start, so let's check it out. All right, let's see. All right, hasn't started yet. So yeah, I mean, the immigration stuff isn't happening very well. The mass deportations aren't happening, and then, you know, we obviously have had the 2 murders from ICE, the 2 killings from ICE, depending on where you decide on that one. It's not great, and you know, it's just, I don't know. Like, usually the State of the Unions don't go that well, and they're just a fluff piece for the president. But I gotta be honest with you, this one is just not turning out like it's truly. I know I've said this multiple times on the podcast, and I'm sure I sound like a broken record, but it truly is fascinating to me anyway. It's truly fascinating to me what the Republicans have managed to do. You know, they've lost all their goodwill, and they've managed to do, in my opinion, right? This is the way I read it. They've managed to do in about a year what it took the Democrats about 3.5 years. And if you remember, if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you know, my whole argument for Trump was everything wrong about his first term, the Democrats took and made it worse, right? Whether it was the COVID situation, the pandemic, whether it was foreign affairs with the war in Ukraine, whether it was, and then with, obviously, with the Israel-Gaza conflict war that happened, they fucked pretty much everything up. I think we're starting here. Let's go. Let's see. Is it starting? Nope, it is not starting. Let's just make sure we're getting audio, shall we? I'm going to try something out here. Let's see how this sounds. Let's try something.
Visit gcu.edu/myoffer.
Let's see how this sounds in the stream, shall we? Shout out to these guys. I mean, obviously, they have no idea who the fuck I am, but it's a great channel that I love watching.
Hey guys, welcome to our review of the final
Let's see.
episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Duncan Eggs adventures are concluded for right now. Obviously, HBO is going to continue this. I'm pretty damn sure.
All right. It sounds good enough. All right. So we're still waiting for the State of the Union to start up. Let's see. All right. All right. We're still waiting. Feel free to put in the comment section what you guys think is going to come up. I mean, I can't understand why Erica Kirk. I mean, I guess because they're going to do something about Charlie Kirk, but who knows? Just trying to think to myself here, like, what did we already talk about? So they're going to obviously have to cover they're not going to have to cover anything. So the Epstein files are going poorly, deportations are going poorly, the ICE raids are going poorly, the economy is going poorly, the tariff thing with the Supreme Court. And then, how could I forget with foreign affairs? The looming, conflict that's about to happen with Iran. What the fuck is going to go on there? We've been hearing reports that we were supposed to strike them as, early as yesterday. It's the sentiment for anti-war has never been higher in this country. And now I've only looked into this specific part a little bit. I have heard from various places that I trust, that apparently the hang up with bombing Iran is that Iran and Israel, the leadership of those countries, allegedly, they have footage of Donald Trump assaulting minors. Let's put it that way so that YouTube doesn't strike me too heavily. This whole thing doesn't have coffee. It's just I put 2 cups in there, and this is the only clean cup that I had that's going to keep it relatively warm. But allegedly, the predicament that Donald Trump finds himself in is the following. It's either he strikes Iran, and then Iran releases some footage of Donald Trump that is incredibly incriminating, or Trump doesn't bomb Iran, and then Israel releases some stuff on him. Who knows? I mean, I've seen a lot of memes about it, and I mean, in a very morbid way, I'd have to agree. It seems like the only option here is bombing Israel. That seems like the only option here. And, you know, I'd have to imagine, personally, I would have to imagine that this State of the Union, a big part of it is going to be Donald Trump selling the war in Iran. And, you know, we've talked about this ad nauseum since apparently we have some time here. It's about to start here in a second. All right. He's going to sell us on the war in Iran, it would appear. So, but let's find out, shall we? All right. So we'll see. I don't know. It would appear to me that, yeah, like I said, he wants to sell the country on the war in Iran. And, you know, like I was saying, I'll mute this for now. The sentiment for war in this country has never been lower. Nobody wants to go to war. We frankly have too many problems here in the United States that we need to handle ourselves. And the idea that we're going to spend money on another war while we're relatively still off the heels of, you know, the war, the global war on terror, where that bankrupted this country. There is exactly zero sentiment to go to war. And then you put on top of that, I think I've spoken to this ad nauseum, but while he's making his entrance, I'm sure we can cover this. This is all part of the plan, right? This is all part of the greater Israel plan. It's the 7 countries in 5 years, the clean break strategy, right? This is the strategy for a new American century or something like that. Let me see if I think that's what it's called. Strategy for a new plan for a new American century. Project for the new American century. That's what that is. And you know, it's quote to promote American leadership, but in reality, it's led by a bunch of neocons and supported by the Israel lobby. And you know, this is where it's all going to culminate. They've been able to knock out all 7 countries, and the last one they haven't got to is Iran. So we'll see. I mean, I would have to imagine that he's going to try to sell the country on war in a country that does not want it. And it's highly concerning, to say the least. I mean, I don't really know what else you can really say about it. And, yeah, I don't know, man. Thomas Massey, shout out to that guy. I don't know. Hey, look at that. Fetterman's in a suit. Fetterman actually showed up in a suit. How funny is that? That's the one thing I do hate about, I mean, amongst the other things that I really do hate about these State of the Union addresses is all the incessant clapping and there's going to be a lot of that tonight, I'm sure, like there always is. And it's just so fucking annoying. Nobody in this Congress should be happy about the work that the lack of work this guy's doing, and with the work that he is doing, it's just all going to shit. I mean, outside of the border being pretty much locked down holistically to illegal immigration, what good has this guy done? Like, he has really fucked this one up big time. And I can't imagine that. I don't know. The disconnect between the federal government and the American populace has never been bigger, in my opinion. And we're seeing it go out in real time here. Can we get on with the fucking speech? Can we get on? Can we get on with the fucking speech? Oh, Christ almighty. Can we get on with the fucking speech?
Thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
Whose movie completely bombed. Oh my God, she does not want to be there. Look at that woman. She does not want to be there. She's like, get me out of this fuck. Oh, there's Erica Kirk, that fucking witch.
Second Lady of the United States.
Oh, for who gives a fuck? You mean the lady that Erica Kirk's gonna replace here in a little bit?
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
No, the fuck it ain't! It's not going well.
Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
Yes, you are watching me move my external mic to get the fucking the audio proper.
When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
So basically what I'm looking up here is I'm researching what the economy looks like right now compared to 2025.
Today our border is secure.
My God. So it looks like growth in 2024 was strong, but carried into early 2025. Consumer spending and exports drove the expansion.
Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
So he just mentioned inflation. The Fed's goal for inflation is 2%, and we're sitting at 2.7 to 3%, and the Fed is worried it's going to get stuck at 3%. Right now, inflation is plateauing.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
Well, the border has gone well, I'll give him that.
In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally.
I'm going to find a solution to this. Give me a second. We're going to let this play.
Work hard to maintain our country. here. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, in 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. It's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
All right. Hopefully that's better.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6
Oh, that's much
a
better.
gallon
There we
in
go.
some states, under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster. It is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline. Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem well, at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that, 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Yeah, it is like being in Catholic Church, isn't it? That's funny.
Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
If there's any more audio issues, feel free to put it in the chat.
Businesses are forming in factories, plants, and laboratories are being built. We have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
So I'm looking at it right now, as of January 2026, only 52,000 construction jobs have been added.
American natural gas production is
Yeah.
at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
And I don't know enough about natural gas production to really comment on that, but
More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our
Apparently,
country.
he is right about natural gas production.
100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America.
Great, I guess. Like, okay, who gives a fuck when you and your friends are potentially eating children? You know what I mean? Who gives a fuck?
Record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
I don't know if that's true. Specifically, the lifted off of food stamps. How many of them got
For all
kicked
of
off?
these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
There's one fat lady in the front for the Democrats that's cheering. Okay, there's a skinny chick too. Oh no. I feel like that's not
Our
true.
country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it.
What?
People are asking me,
Okay.
please,
Okay,
please.
I really wanted to keep this as like, I don't know, I wanted to keep this as in real time as humanly possible. But like, Epstein files are still not out. Economy is not doing great. Mass deportations aren't happening. What the fuck, man?
Please, Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, no, no. You're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Flown in on your dime. Let's make this very clear. Flown in on your dime. Just got done getting hammered, pissed drunk with Kash Patel. Look, these guys are great athletes, I'm sure. I don't watch hockey. I couldn't give two shits about hockey. But a hockey team winning is not indicative of the health of the country, clearly. Now, if they walked in holding the rest of the Epstein files, I'd be a lot more interested. Let's make that clear. I'd be a lot more interested if they walked in holding the rest of the Epstein files, and then the rest of them their cheerleaders came in with handcuffs and arrested half this fucking government. That would be great.
Go ahead.
Who gives a fuck? Look, I'd be all for this. You know, truly. I'd be all for cheering USA if our country was actually doing quite well, but we're not.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
God, I don't care. God, I just don't give a shit. I gotta be honest. If there's stuttering on the video, that's because my computer is probably fighting the urge to explode, by the way. I need a new computer. So that being said, come to my shows. Help me get paid for doing stand-up so I can get a new computer. That'd be really great. I mean, good for these guys, truly, but why are you wearing a mask, you fucking
46
pussy?
shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practiced that, or was that a little lucky? He refused.
I hate that this guy's funny. I hate that
But
he's
I just
funny.
want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you all. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
Okay, can we get to the part where you become a neocon again and you try to sell us on the war in Iran, please? Can we get to that?
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
It's the summer version. God. I can't help but laugh, dude. Can't stand the guy, but I can't help but laugh.
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
Other than the fact that it's absolutely chock full of pedophiles, yeah, maybe the crime rates have gone down that we know of.
This year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place, and now I've got them because I got the Olympics, I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
Why? Who gives a fuck? Sit down. I feel if I was.
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila.
The Nazi version.
So hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Damn, that dude stands up faster than I do.
So, buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die.
Can't fucking. Oh,
Those
God.
prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission. A young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety.
Yeah, that's some gangster shit. That is some gangster shit. I remember reading about that. Gangster shit.
People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow.
It's raining, it's
something.
pouring, the old man was
Tonight,
snoring.
Scott and Millie Kate are here together.
Fucking Dr.
reunited
Seuss ass
for the very
president.
First time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
Yeah, I would hope that the fucking guy who saved over 150 lives gets an award along with the hockey player. I would hope so.
And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aide, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans. All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary, massive tax cuts.
So what I'm looking at right now is that the biggest tax cut was in 1981 under Reagan. The big beautiful bill is either the third or the fourth. So
Scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
So the no tax on tips or overtime, that goes up to, I think, like 20,000 or 25,000 a year, which is good. Don't get me wrong. It's a great step, but, it should just be entirely, and then also, get rid of the income tax, that kind of thing. Stop giving our tax money to Israel and to fund wars and, just stuff like that.
We also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America. Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works
I had to turn a
overtime,
fan on. Sorry about that.
operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half.
If true, that's great. Don't get me wrong. If true, that's great.
Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
She's like, I'm up. I'm standing.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6,250 million to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
Again, if true.
They're great people.
If true, that's pretty great. No tax money going into it. Funded by private billionaires. That's great. If true, it's very good.
I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school and I made computers and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that, but I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing?
It's a lot of cocaine. Tell you what, it's a lot of cocaine.
To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov. Trumpaccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done, and they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful countries saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without.
That's a fun thing to look up.
Remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
Whoa, let's back that up really quick. What did you just say?
Or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it, how much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Countries stunning. They were ripping us so. Good news is that almost all countries, so despite the disappointing, will remain in place under fully approved, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people
Well,
that I love.
that would be good if that actually happens. That would be great. I doubt it, but it'd be great.
In Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
Well, he's not wrong. The Democrats really did fuck things up over the last few years.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
So just real quick, I want to touch on something that he said about the wars he was ending. So I looked it up really quick, and allegedly, the ones we're talking about is the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, and we know that's not over yet. India, Pakistan, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, Congo and Rwanda, Israel and Hamas, which is holding on by a thread, Cambodia and Thailand, Egypt and Ethiopia, and Serbia and Kosovo. So, some context things that this brought up as well. While some of these actions, such as the Israel, Iran, and India-Pakistan truces, resulted in temporary, short-term, or partial lulls, many were not lasting peace agreements. In several cases, such as the Rwanda and Congo and the Cambodia and Thailand fighting tensions resumed. And analysis note that the number of total wars is often inflated by including regional disputes or border skirmishes that do not fit the definition of a full-scale war. So, of course, it's not, he's talking a bunch of bullshit. And we're about to go to war with
Price
Iran.
of eggs
So,
is down 60%, sometimes referred to as Obamacare. Big insurance company has gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great healthcare plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own healthcare, which will be better healthcare at a much lower cost.
if that actually happens, it sounds good to me. Oh, Byron Donalds, you fucking APAC secure.
In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
Sounds so simple.
if
so
that happens, that's a very good thing too.
And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Of course, we're going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
Again, I hope so. We'll see, but I hope so.
So in my first year of the second term, should be my third term, but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs,
That's concerning.
a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either.
Let's take a look at that, shall we? So, you go to the website, and it says find the world's
Here
lowest.
tonight is the very first customer ever to get.
Okay, find the world's lowest prices on prescription drugs. So let's see here. Let's write what's a common drug that people take. How am I spacing on common drugs? What's a fucking Wellbutrin? That's a very common. Oh, there's Ozempic on there. Okay, so Ozempic pen. Browse. So then it takes you to. Okay, savings at a glance. This is an out-of-pocket price. If you have insurance, check your copay first. It may be even lower. Select your strength and number of prior fills to see your savings. So if I did a pre-filled pen of Ozempic, let's just fucking jab. Who are we celebrating here?
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters, because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800.
Okay, we're talking about drug prices. Okay, so if you choose your strength and it's from 0.25/0.5, So it looks like the original price is just over $1,000. Trump RX saves you $828, bringing it down to $200. I mean, shit, man. If this is true, it'd be great. But how do you actually place an order? Okay. 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 I want to buy Ozempic. How do I do this? Okay. So accept terms to continue. Present the coupon at your pharmacy to claim your Trump RX savings. It's a Trump. It's a golden eagle, a golden bald eagle, and yeah, it literally just says like it's like a coupon for. Okay, that's interesting. Widely supported at retail pharmacies that dispense Ozempic pens. Oh shit! Well, if this is a real thing, this is fucking great. Yeah, go to Trump RX and just try it out. That's actually pretty neat. All right. Anyway.
The American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes. And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Racel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it. For our seniors, we will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records, your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Big if true. I'll give him that. But how many on the I mean, that's how I see fucking Thomas Massey talking. He's calling bullshit.
For that, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
Okay, but then are you able to look at whose portfolios tank and then arrest those people for insider trading?
Sure, if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance.
Well, he can't really hang his hat on much else, so, because he's fucked for his presidential run in 2028. And how are they going to get through, cut through all that fraud, even if they try? Is that where Palantir comes into play?
Find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about.
Is that not why he originally hired Elon?
Pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world and lawlessness are the norm.
His mic's cutting out. That's not good.
Supporting these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings us problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah. Delilah Colvin was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver.
Well, and for those of you living in New Mexico, this literally just happened yesterday where a state police officer pulled somebody over conducting a traffic stop. His parked cruiser, his parked police unit was hit by a semi-truck. He was pinned under it and killed. This is a real problem that's happening with a lot of truck drivers that are illegal immigrants, that are Somalian, that are, they're illegal, don't know how to drive these fucking rigs, and they're killing people. It's a real problem.
Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
See, and something like that should be common sense. But, at the same hand, you have his companies and then his buddies' companies in the agricultural sector and the hospitality sector that are also employing illegal aliens, making the problem worse of, having these illegals come in, taking advantage of them, whether good or bad, paying them under wages, all that kind of stuff. So it's across the board.
People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber, exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
It's not happening at record numbers, though. I agree that shit like that should be happening. These people should be getting deported immediately, but it's not happening at the record numbers that he claims, and it should be happening at much higher numbers. I think they only did like the ballpark 300,000, and how much of that were self-deportations, who knows? How many of them are violent immigrants, who knows? But
we can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you.
he's not wrong about that.
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Well, if that's not telling, I'm not too sure what is. But, you know, there's so much hanging over the Republican Party itself, so I mean, good on him for calling him out, but the hypocrisy there on other subjects is incredible. God, our government is so fucked. All right, my computer's about to explode. Give me a second. Yeah, it's the sound of the internal fans on my laptop.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials
Oh,
who
somebody's
block the
screaming.
removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So there actually is a lot of truth to that. The idea that sanctuary cities are a thing blows my fucking mind. If they're illegal, get them out. If they are criminals, lock them up. If they're illegal criminals, get them the fuck out and bar their entry. I don't know how hard that is, truly. But, you know, get actually illegal criminals out. Don't be fucking locking up real American citizens or people that hold legal standing, people that protest Israel. Don't lock up those people.
America Act. To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections.
Voter ID.
It's rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I agree with that. That should be a fucking executive order, to be honest with you. That shouldn't even be going through Congress. That should be an executive order. I don't know why that's a challenge.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote.
Yes. 100%. Now make that an executive order.
And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
Yeah. The vast majority of people support voter ID. I don't understand how that's not a fucking executive order.
And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a social security card.
Yeah, crazy how that works out.
Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good.
That's a good point.
No good.
Bro's got a point.
Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Well, I mean, the Epstein files are pretty important, I'd say, but sure. That should be an executive order. That shouldn't, no. And they could do it, too, while they have the power in Congress.
The reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated, and their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John. And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
I mean, if that story's true, it's absolutely fucking horrific.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
I agree with that.
Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh? No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady, now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that?
The Epstein files? I mean, are we protecting kids by fucking exposing the victims of the Epstein files, not doing any type of conviction or arrest leading to convictions, nothing? That's a leg the Republican Party, let alone the president, can't really stand on anymore, if you ask me.
Really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
She doesn't give a fuck. Look at her. She is angry to be there. She doesn't give a fuck.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal.
Isn't this the same guy that said he's going to hell?
Among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
And
so last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
And there's a performance by Erica Kirk. How good.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Well, at least the Democrats stood for that. That's a good sign, I guess.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that
We love religion.
It's a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't stand for shit like that. I don't know. It's all performative political bullshit.
Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of the sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Evalie Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's just ugly shit what happened to her. That's just ugly shit.
So sorry. Thank you very much. A great young lady. I saw reports that were like perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night. And she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone. But his mother said, no, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation.
God, dude, get
But
to the
she
point.
turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right.
Damn. And that dude's perfect. He's okay. Like, holy shit.
Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a damn miracle.
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
Good. Good.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia,
Debatable on that one.
Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you.
Nothing
Steve.
about
Thank you.
fucking Russia and Ukraine. And didn't Israel kill like 500 more people after that ceasefire was put into place? Like, since it's been put into place, they killed like 500 more people. The whole Gaza Strip is completely leveled. They're going to proceed with
And
ethnic
I also
fucking
want to
cleansing.
Thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco. People like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation.
Well, yeah, because he's a part of the establishment.
54%.
It's bought and paid
Some
for.
of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever. Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that? Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back. But we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, after you level the place, I'm sure it's a tough dig, dude.
Passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job. And we're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president. Would have never
Okay, but you've been president for a year,
As
dude.
president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America.
Oh, here we go.
Wherever we must.
Here we go.
That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil.
Not entirely true. Apparently, a lot of it got moved, and that's not entirely true. Not entirely true. Here we go. Here's the warmongering.
decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue, starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference
All right, I have to pause it.
My preference is to solve.
So an important thing to understand about all that is they're not just saying no nuclear weapons. They want to completely get rid of their nuclear program, even on the civilian side, which is something that they could never agree to.
Solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
Sounds like we're going to war pretty soon. And they all stand for war. Take note of that. They all stand for war.
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong, because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective.
Well, let's see. Because again, none of your constituents, the vast majority of your constituents and the vast majority of the American populace do not want to go to war.
In Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed, at my very strong request, to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2.
Well, if true, it's very good.
And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently. And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776. You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar, I said $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it, so we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
Which is concerning, because that, you know, extrapolate from that, obviously, but...
And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January...
Oh, so we are the ones behind taking down that cartel head. Jesus.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched. They saw what happened. This is a different fighting force than we
probably
had
all
years
shit their
ago when
pants.
we fought to tie. No, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it. Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby, because we did that. My baby is becoming so important. And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice. And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela.
Okay, can we wrap this up, dude? It's almost 9 o'clock at night.
President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries, and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down. Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro, really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter, a big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good? While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, the helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission, we probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy, Eric, and Amy. Come on in. So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
That is one hard motherfucker. Holy shit.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it.
All
and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back.
In the interest of my own time, I'm going to cut it right there. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not, yeah. It's been almost 2 fucking hours. We got the warmongering that we were promised, and, you know, fact-checked a little bit, saw the lies that were there, but it is what it is. Pretty uneventful State of the Union. That's what I kind of figured. I'm glad that those people got the recognition that they deserve. That's good. But again, the big takeaway there is just the warmongering for Iran. Now, I could be a total dumbass. I recognize this. I could be a total dumbass and cut the stream, and then, you know, in 5 minutes they announce a war with Iran. But I don't think that's going to happen tonight. Yeah, that's all I'm going to cover tonight. I have shit to do, to be completely honest with you, and I'm not in the mood. And I'm hungry. Anyway, look, shows this weekend, main one being Saturday at 2 Cranes. Please buy tickets. The ticket link is in the live chat, and then going on the road to Texas here in a couple weeks. Gonna be out in Lubbock on so on March 12th, I will be in San Diego at the Mic Drop out there, opening for Suba Agarwal. That'll be a lot of fun. The 13th, I will be in Lubbock, featuring for my boy AJ. That'll be Friday the 13th, right? Yeah, and then the 14th, that Saturday, the 14th and the 15th, we will be at the Riot Comedy Club in San Antonio, and I'm working on Austin dates for that week. I'll keep you updated. Check out my Instagram. Thank you all for tuning in.